the story, purely for the
Mm.
story. I was really interested in the storyline or whatever. And so I didn't even realize, but I was learning English language because of that. So,
Yeah.
novels are so thick, right? Obviously,
Yes.
you are also doing masters in English. You must be knowing how thick they are. So, but
Exactly.
just out of interest, I used to read those books. At
Yes.
that time when people were using phone, joining Facebook, Instagram, that's what I was doing. I was I was reading books, and
Yes.
kind of books became my best friends, because
To appreciating you because you speak really well. You speak so well.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, for beginners, I would definitely say start listening.
Yes.
If there Because if we speak Hindi, our parents speak Hindi, everybody around us speaks in, or whatever your mother tongue is, right?
Yes.
So what happens is that becoming aware of a new language. All right. So my name is Niyati, and I'm running my English channel called Niyati English Express for the past 3 months or so, and it's doing pretty well, and I'm really happy with it. Apart from that, when it comes to my education, I've done my BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering, and I'm from Rajasthan. I'm currently residing in Rajasthan itself. And yeah, well, okay. So I'll also describe my hobbies. So when it comes to my hobbies, I love to read books and I love listening to music and I love to watch movies. So that's pretty much about me.
That's a lovely introduction, and I would say that we have quite similar hobbies. I would say I also like to watch movies, reading books, and listening to music. So, yeah, I would love to know about. I had a question for you actually, because I've been following you since for a month. As I told you that I have heard that you are an IIT dropped out, right? But I want to
Hmm.
know that, uh, like when you take engineering in your graduation, what was the purpose at that time? Did you do it because, like, okay, I'll give you my example. So I have done my graduation in Bachelor of Science, and when I took BSc, that time I did it because first in our area there was only two stream, like
Hmm.
BA and BSc. And the second thing was that it was a kind of stereotype there that if you are taking BA, that means you are not good in academics, and if you are taking BSc, it means you are good. And I was a kind of
Hmm.
in my class, I was like okay, not so much good, but I was okay, okay. But and that's why I went to BA for BSc, just because of that. I didn't even searched a lot
Hmm.
that should I choose it or not, and I was not aware about my interest and anything, and I still chose that. So I want to know, is there anything like, is there any kind of situation with you as well, or it was like for you, like you wanted to do it?
Okay, so I'll tell you, it's the situation that you described. It's not only for you; it's for the entire India.
Yes.
Just before this one, when I told you I was discussing with somebody, so she said like in her time it was just either engineering or medical field. So she said
Yeah.
like, how's the situation now?
Yes.
Because I think she graduated in 2012 or so. And I told
Okay.
her like, yeah, it's the same situation in India because we are still, because if his child is really brilliant in studies, so we, not us, but like the society tells them, okay, then you will either choose engineering or you will either go into bio, right? So
Yes.
that's a situation, and that was a similar case with me, and also I'm sure you, because we never even knew that there were more options opened. And for art
Exactly.
students also, there's a myth that if you are taking arts, you're probably not good at studies, your percentage were not good, that's why you chose arts. So
Exactly.
that's the situation of our country, and that's why. So, but for me, the case was that I never really liked social science that much in
Okay.
school, and I loved maths a lot.
Yeah. So that
Not
was.
not so much for the chemistry, but yeah, I physics was okay, and I was in love with mathematics, and I still am. So that's why I was like, okay, I let's look for the options ahead, and then I was like, okay, let's go into the math stream, which is for the engineering. But I did not go for purely mathematics. For the BSc mathematics, I went for the
Okay.
engineering option.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I was still into engineering somewhere around the third year or so, like during the
Okay.
third year, the ending of the third year, I was like, I started having my doubts, like whether do I really want to pursue engineering further. So that's why, but I still gave an exam and I got selected in IIT Kharagpur. So I was really happy with that because as a math student, we always have a dream to be going to IIT.
Mm.
For example, like for bio, I think their AIMS is the biggest
Yes,
institute that they can go to. So for
exactly.
IIT, for mathematics, IIT is the biggest institute. So that's why I was really happy with that. But then I was like, let's just stop and think about like, do we really want to go into this
Yes,
further or not? And so that's why I chose not to do. Although I was pursuing masters for like a month, but even before I joined, I was like, do I really want to go into this or not? And so for my parents were really supportive, like, okay, if you don't really feel like doing it further, it's okay. And I
yes,
know a lot of parents would disagree with this, right? Because they don't really
definitely.
allow you to just drop out of your master's program. So
Definitely
yeah,
a
that
lot of,
was the situation with me.
yes, I can totally understand it.
And like you discussed, it's a drawback of India. Even now, I think students don't really know that what streams they can go into. I mean, they
Exactly.
teach us the subjects, but they don't teach us the job opportunities ahead, like what you can
Exactly.
go into. So we just have to do everything on our own. We have to do all the research on our own.
Exactly, and I come from a very rural area of Uttarakhand, so I never I never get the opportunity to understand what should I do, and like I was not that time till my 12th I was not having any Android phone or anything, so there was no
Hmm.
internet as well, so I was like I just went for that, and that after when I was in my third year, as you told me, I was
Hmm.
also like,
Hmm.
do I really want to do it? Because actually, I went to a hospital with my sister one day, and she was before that I was thinking that I will crack some nursing exams and all these things. Okay, and
Hmm.
and I went with my sister in a hospital with her kid, and she was getting infected treatment or infection treatment or something, and I was literally scared, and
Hmm.
then I asked myself, am I really able to do it? Am I going to do it? And then I thought, like, I dropped that thought of doing like MSc after that. So that's how. But
Hmm.
yes, I think most of the students, they nowadays they have a lot of awareness about what they want to do, but in my area there was no awareness about what they really want to pursue in their career and why they are choosing that stream. They just go to that because they don't have a lot of options, and the second thing is because this stereotype that if you are going to choose BA, that means you are not good in academics or studies, you are not
Hmm.
interested in studies, and if you are choosing science, that means you are brilliant, but it is not the truth
Hmm.
at all. Yes.
Yeah, I think people have not grown up. I mean, it's still the situation when it comes to India. Nobody
Yes.
really knows about it. But I think now, because of social media and everything, kids are
Yes.
becoming aware. The
Exactly.
newer generation, I don't
Yes.
know what they're called, I think that, no, not, we are Gen Z.
Gen Z.
They are
Yes.
called Gen Alpha, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
so
I
there's
don't
a
know
term
about
called
that.
Gen Alpha.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we are Gen Z, but there's this term called Gen Alpha. So they are even newer kids,
Yes, and they
uh,
are very
pretty
smart, I
small
would
and
say.
like, yeah, they're
Yes.
so smart and they know what they want to do.
Exactly.
Because like, because of the internet connection, and I didn't have it when I was younger. Internet
Exactly.
wasn't even that big of a thing. I still remember, I think internet used to be very expensive when I was a kid, so I
Yes.
never even thought that I could have internet or something. But
Exactly.
yeah, now, because so they can search on YouTube, these are the streams that you can go into, these are the job opportunities, job aspects, whatever. So I think now it's becoming better, but earlier the situation was like there were just two main streams that you can go into.
Definitely. So, yeah, that's true. And I personally feel okay. I am also a
Hmm.
Gen Z. I wasn't aware about these terms. Nowadays, I am listening these terms. Okay, these are something. But I sometimes feel like I behave like a millennial, I would say. I am not a kind of. What do you think? How would you describe Gen Z or Gen Z Alpha or whatever?
Hmm. Okay. Actually, same. I describe this every single day. I think I discuss this with my mother, and I'm like, I don't feel like a Gen Z.
Yes.
Because what Gen Zs are is that like TikToks and keeping up with the music and whatever. I don't do these things. I
Yes.
like to do things the old-fashioned way, right? And I
Exactly.
like the way life was when there was no internet. Because I remember when I was a child, internet was not that common.
Exactly.
Smartphones were not that common. So I now when I see kids, like because we used to play, right? Running and chasing
Exactly.
game or whatever.
Yes.
But now
Outdoor games,
the
yeah.
thing is that, yeah, kids are on their mobile phones all day. That's their game. That's
They
the
are
only
playing
game that they
video
have.
games, and yes, exactly. And
Hmm.
they are in their fifth grade and they are having mobile. They are having their personal mobile.
Yes.
So that's very shocking. I mean, I got my personal mobile after my 12th. Sometimes I feel
Hmm.
like, yeah, exactly. I mean, and kids are very, I mean, they know how to private
Hmm.
application or a lot of things. They are much aware about the mobile functions compared to me, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. I don't know how this happened, but it just happened. Like
yes,
this is the situation and it's not looking so great. I mean, I'm
yes,
kind of worried about the upcoming generation because
exactly,
for me, I can confirm I had a really good childhood in nature and with other kids. But now the kids are just they come from school and I think they just start using mobile or just laptop and gaming every day, screen
exact,
watching screen for so many hours. Like how
yes,
it's so terrible for your eyesight. But
exactly,
and that also deprives them from their personal growth. They're not actually able to learn anything about outside
exactly.
world.
Yeah, it
So
hold
yeah.
their creativity. And I remember when I was a kid, I used to we had only one TV in our entire village. Only we had a TV, and yes, I mean that time a lot of our friends and they used to come to our home and we used to watch TV together. And we used to, like, our parents used to scold us a lot that you are watching TV for more than an hour, that you are going to lost your eyes. And we had that fear that if
Mhm.
we are going to watch movie for more than an hour, then will definitely become like, yes, blind,
Yeah.
exactly. So, but nowadays, when I see kids, they are watching TV and mobile all the time, and I am also feel sometimes I
Mm.
feel very worried about them, and I also have a kid, and I feel so worried for her as well because like I feel like what is going on in their future, like nowadays, and
Mm.
kids and everyone nowadays using AI a lot. So we are not using our brain. We are not uh, like we are not no more creative because we are using AI all the time. For every little help we need AI, we need mobile. If we
Exactly.
want to search anything, we just Google it. We are not thinking, we are not
Mm.
even trying to think a more little more, like. So I think that is
Mm.
going to harm in future somewhere. This is what I feel. Sometimes I also feel like very worried about it.
Yes, I feel so all the time actually. All the damn time. I'm just, because if a kid gets homework now, they just simply Google it, like AI or
Exactly.
Google ChatGPT, and then they just copy paste the answer. Like, how are you learning? You're not learning anything, right? They cannot even do their own assignments, and this is the situation now.
Exactly, that's so true. I mean, sometimes I argue with my siblings as well. They said that this is AI
Hmm.
generation and we have to work with AI. We have to learn how to use AI. And I argue with them a lot of time that okay, but sometimes you have to use your brain as well. You cannot use
Hmm.
AI all the time, right? But then they, I mean, they are younger than me, and we are like three siblings, and they are younger than me. And they are very, like, they have very similar understanding, I would say. And they always tell me that it is AI generation, and we are AI generation, we have to
Hmm.
use AI, we should know how to use AI. So I always tell them that you should, but you should know how to use your brain as well at the same time. You cannot depend on AI
Right.
all the time, right? So yeah, that is the case
Hmm.
nowadays. Okay, Nia.
This reminds me of something. It was a joke kind of thing. So because of how heavily dependent we are on AI, so I
Yeah.
saw a joke that somebody was standing in front of elevator, the lift, and then he had a phone and mobile, and he became so dumb because of the AI
Okay.
use that he was not able to tell which button to press if he wants to go
Hmm.
up, if he wants to go
Yes.
down. Then he was asking AI like which button should I press. I mean, it was a joke, but I think it kind of also is
Yes, I
it,
mean
it's
there
giving
are.
a hint of reality, right?
Exactly. That's so true. I mean, there are a lot of people, they are totally depending on AI. Whatever
Mm.
they are doing or they want to do, they are just going to ask AI. They are not going to use their brain, or they are not trying to think how should they can do, right? I think that's not
Yes,
a good thing.
exactly.
Actually, okay, so
Mm.
I want to something about your English learning journey now, because as I told you, you speak really well and I really like the way you speak. So I want to know something about your English learning journey. Since how long you are learning, or as you told that you never learned it actively. But yeah, I want to know something about that.
That's so true. I never learned actively. I was always learning passively. So yeah, like I mentioned in my video that I started reading books when I was 13 years old. So
Hmm.
I think that's exactly the point when I started improving in English language. Before
Yeah.
that, even if we had any exam in English, I was super scared. I was very comfortable. Like in Hindi language, I would do really good in the exams. But when it came to English language, I was really scared because I did not even know the grammatical structure and everything, what
Yes.
exactly to use here and this and that. So I just used to memorize word by word in English language
Yes.
because I personally did not know how to structure the sentence. So that was the
Yes.
situation with me. But then I started reading books, right? So I started because it was for the story, purely for the
Hmm.
story. I was really interested in the storyline or whatever. And so I didn't even realize, but I was learning English language because of that. So,
Yeah.
novels are so thick, right? Obviously,
Yes.
you are also doing masters in English. You must be knowing how thick they are. So, but
Exactly.
just out of interest, I used to read those books. At
Yes.
that time, when people were using phone, joining Facebook, Instagram, that's what I was doing. I was, I was reading books, and
Yes.
kind of books became my best friends, because books are never going to judge you, right?
Not at all.
They
And
you kind of talk to books. If you are actual book lover, you would realize that you
exactly.
can actually talk to books. They talk to
Yes.
you, you talk to them, kind of a thing.
Exactly. I mean, if you are an actually a book lover, na, you like sometimes if I'm not getting time in my entire day, and if I get time for only for 5 to 10 minutes, so I just pick a book and I try to read something. I feel like I just want to utilize this time in reading books. So that's how you feel if you are really interested in reading books. And I think by reading books, you know a lot of things about yourself as well. You get that awareness about
Mm.
so many things. I think in your academic books you learn about that subject, but when you learn books you learn about life lessons and like the reality of
Mm.
life. There are a lot of things which you can learn from
Yes.
books. Yes. Okay.
Mm. And you must have also noticed that if we have some spare time, if there's a break, then if you use social media for that time, for example, you're scrolling reels on YouTube or
Yeah.
Instagram, versus if you use that time to just read a storybook, I think we feel much more refreshed when we are
Ex-
reading a storybook, right?
that's
And I'm
so
so sorry for
true.
interrupting you. I think you were saying something.
No, no, I forgot that. I am very, I just forgot things very easily. Yeah. Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
so
well,
true.
this happens with me as well.
Yeah,
Hmm.
actually, whenever if I am getting some leisure time, and if I'm using like watching reels, and sometimes if you are watching reels, you don't even notice how much time you have invested in that time, right? That watching
Hmm.
reels, you just start watching binge reels. But if
Hmm.
I and that
Yeah.
I after that I feel very exhausted. Trust me, I'm not kidding. I genuinely
Hmm.
feel very exhausted if I watch reel for half an hour. And if I'm reading a book, I feel very unwind and I feel very relaxed and calm. And I feel like I've get something
Hmm.
knowledgeable, and I feel very refreshing. That's so true. It happens with me as well. But if you are not a
Yeah.
book lover, then you might feel exhausted after reading a book as well. This is what I believe.
This happens. I think,
Yes.
yeah, that's so true because some of my friends say that reading is just not for them. And so for
Yes.
them, I would describe that if you want to learn English language anyway, you can always learn it in a fun way. I think it depends
Yes.
on your interests. For example, if somebody likes to watch movies, then whatever movies you're watching, I think now English versions are also available. And
Yes.
if it's even better if you watch Hollywood movies because they are
Exactly.
purely in English language. You can use the
Definitely.
captions because I still remember the time when I started watching Hollywood movies. I would not understand their accent, the American
Exactly.
accent or the British accent. It was very difficult to understand. So
Yes.
then I started using the captions.
Hmm.
So now I'm reading the captions, right? And I'm also listening at the same time. So
Yes.
then I kind of got used to the accent, and now I'm so confident that now I can watch a movie without having the need to have the caption in front of me.
Wow, that's so nice. I do watch Hollywood movies, but I am not able to
Hmm.
understand that accent. But I always used to like I always watch it with subtitles. But I still find
Hmm.
these very helpful. Like it is not like I don't feel like it is very like I am doing something extra to read those and to
Hmm.
I can catch it up, and I feel very nice
Yeah,
after like when I don't know, I personally feel like if I'm reading subtitles I uh, pick those sentence in my brain very easily. This is what I believe. I don't know about
hmm.
others, but I personally like to read subtitles while watching movies. It happens with me.
It does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for me also it happens. Still for the UK, the British accent,
Yeah.
I sometimes have problem understanding what
Yes,
they're saying.
that is
It's
very tough.
quite tough.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but for American accent, it's much easier. So I
Yeah.
started with the American accent series, the US series,
Mm.
a lot of series actually. So
Yes.
I usually watch murder mysteries or dark kind of.
Okay.
So that's why, yeah. So that's what I started with, and I became really comfortable with the American accent. So
Yes.
now even turn off the captions. Can you believe that? So
Yes.
many years of practice that now I don't
Yes.
captions annoy me now. Like I'm able to understand, I don't need them.
Yes.
But for the British one, I still need the captions because I'm not able to fully understand what they're saying.
Yes, that's so nice. The way I mean, I feel like I am never going to understand this native speaker accent. I don't know. I feel, but as you said that because you have been watching these movies since so long, so now you are able to understand them. So
Hmm.
maybe if I'll watch regularly, I will be
Yes.
able to. Yeah, yeah. So
Yes, I also never thought that because it for me it was that if I'm looking away for a time
yes,
and then the movie is playing, I will not be able to understand anything, right?
yes,
Then I'll have to rewind and see the captions. But
exactly.
now I'm super comfortable. Like I even listen to Spotify podcasts and everything, purely audio, no video, right?
Oh,
But I'm
yes,
super comfortable with that. So I realize that it all comes down to practice, practice and
yes.
practice. That's all it matters.
Definitely. Okay, Niyati, if you have any message to
Hmm.
beginners, like how to start and what approach should they have to learn this language, what would you give? Because I am
Hmm.
not I can't stop myself to appreciating you because you speak really well. You speak so well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, for beginners, I would definitely say start listening.
Yes.
If there Because if we speak Hindi, our parents speak Hindi, everybody around us speaks in or whatever your mother tongue is, right?
Yes.
So what happens is that becoming aware of a new language, it takes time
Yes.
completely. Like it's a foreign language, right? We don't know
Exactly.
anything about English language. So just start listening, movies, songs, just whatever. Or there's also I think ebooks, something, what is
Yes.
it called,
Oh,
audiobooks.
audiobook.
Yeah, so
Yes.
audiobooks, right? So when you keep listening and listening and listening, then you become aware, and the language doesn't feel very foreign
Yes.
anymore. It feels familiar. Like, yeah,
Yes.
maybe I can speak that. So definitely start with that and then speaking. I tell so many people, like, even before you start with the grammar part, start with the speaking part right away.
Definitely.
You can
Yes.
work on a grammar side by side, because when you're reading grammar and everything, it becomes so boring. It's like you're doing a
Exactly.
homework, and I
Yes.
don't want that for people. I just want them to learn it in the most fun way possible.
Yes, it makes you more exhausted if you see grammar rules and then you feel like
Yes.
more depressed and you feel like very stressed and then you are not going to focus on speaking part. Y- This is
Mm.
what I also made this mistake. I was thinking like first I'll cover up all the grammar rules and then I will start speaking. But this is I would say that this is my a big mistake I would say because that's not
Mm.
how you learn a language. First you have to input a lot of English and after that you have to start outputting it. That's what I also
Exactly.
believe. Yes, that's so true.
Yeah, and that's the best approach.
Exactly. Okay, so I think it's already half an hour. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I barely realized that we have
Yes,
had a
exactly.
total of 1 hour conversation, right?
It
But I
didn't
didn't
feel
even
like.
realize. I felt like I
Yes.
genuinely connected with you. Yeah, because every single point I mentioned, you were like, yeah, same. Or you mentioned something, I was like, yes,
Exactly.
same. So it was,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%
I
same.
mean, our opinions are very similar, so that's why it was very smooth going on.
Mm.
Yes. I really like the
Yeah. But
yes. I
Yeah, but
really
thank you
like.
so much for
Okay.
having me on your channel. It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining me. And I really like this entire conversation, and I really love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you so much, and have a great day ahead.
Yes. Have a great day. You too. Bye.